habit, error or mistake. In case of second language acquisition, these three issues are discussed with more importance. Okay, as I have started that many of you at the time of talking, it's simply you can put your eyes over there. Okay, whatever may be the situation, they can put their hands in their hand and they will start stretching their here. Okay, and one of my senior brother, what he would do every time, he would put the thumb of the left hand in his mouth and started chewing. Okay, so this is his habit. And in case of second language acquisition, habit play a role. And this is not my speech. This is the speech delivered by American psychologist J.B. Watson. So in this way, that any kind of learning, what is habit? Habit will be a sort of behavior that will be carried subconsciously to you in your activities. Okay, that means I have put my hands in my pocket. Yeah, so it is a habit of subconsciously when I will start speaking, I will be keeping my hands in my pocket. And for this reason, I have come up with the jeans pants. Okay? Because if I put normal hands, then I put my hands over here. Many of you will be standing in such a way and they will be putting their hands in the back side. Okay. One of my teachers, every time at the very beginning of his lecture, he would be standing up before the audience and he will show a gold ring hand over there. Okay. And he will be putting his eyes towards the audience for 30 seconds. Okay. It is his behavior. And this sort of behavior play a vital role in case of learning, any kind of learning, including second language learning. What J.B. Watson, American psychologist, said that, so in this way, if we want to say who is the originator of Behaviourist Theory of SLA, we will say that this is J.B. Watson. J.B. Watson initiated that idea that language learning is a sort of our behavior, and we learn behavior consciously, and next time unconsciously it will be a part of our action, and that is behavior. And in this figure, what sort of behavior we will be putting over there? Here, Russian psychologist Pavlov, he put his experiment in 1924, and that is a famous theory of psychology that we have watched in the video a little bit earlier. That experiment is called Pavlov's dog experiment. Pavlov's dog experiment. This dog experiment will be related to our behavior. Just like that, second time, it is called another sort of behavior. So Pavlov's dog's experiment, with the help of that experiment, Pavlov requires that language learning is a sort of behavior. Language learning is based on some condition. What type of condition? He said that it is classical condition. This idea next time improved by another linguist. His name is American psychologist Skinner. Skinner in 1957, he experimented this same notion, that means behaviorist theory in second language acquisition with the help of a rat, and that is called rat's experiment. He said, apart from the classical conditioning, there is another kind of conditioning that is called operant conditioning. Okay, so operant conditioning, before that we see, that is the dog's experiment by Pavlov's. Pavlov proved this here. Okay? We have seen that this dog is tied with some strings, and before the dog we see a container. In that container there is a dog's food or biscuit. You see that container of the meat powder, one kind of powder that is loved by this dog. Whether you don't know whether it is loved or not. And before that, there is a tube that is attached to the dog's mouth. And what does it mean? It is the tube of the collection of saliva. Saliva means lala, sorry, not lava, lala. And before that we see observation spring. And here we see a device to count drops of saliva. লালা যে ফোটাই ফোটাই পড়বে এটা দিয়ে, এটা পড়ছে কিনা এখানে এসে জমা হবে। Okay, and upper there you see revolving drum for recording the response.
Biology একটা term, biology reflexes criteria impact biology.
Yeah, it may be actually that can be termed in biology, but that is a theory of course when you will see something very sweet or smelly, then many of us will have water on our mouth. This is called lala, saliva. So you can call it that it is a biological system. If that's happening, okay. So here, that is experiment over there. That is, here you see that before the dog there is a food, okay, and in that dog there is a light, okay, and next time a dog is there, okay, first time the light is on, and when the light is on, at the same time a meat product, that means the food is put on the container. So the dog, first time what did the dog say? Dog saw two things. One thing, that at the time of the light on, the dog will be getting food. Okay, so first time light on and food is placed on the container. Dog went there and he started eating the food. Second time again, lights on and the food is there. Okay. And at the time of getting the food, the dog will start salivating. Okay. So food will come. So there is an association. What is the association? Dog will understand that at the time of the light on, the food will come. Okay. So it happens 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. Okay. And that time, that means what is the situation? Light is on, food is given, and the dog will start salivating. Here, food is there, light is there. So that is the combination. So light and food will come together. Here, after 17 times, 20 times or 100 times, there is no food. Only the light is on. At the time, the dog starts salivating. Why? Because the dog's behavior was patterned in such a way, dog understood that at the time of getting light, the food will come. So it has become a part of the dog's habit. And for this reason, whenever the lights come, a light will be on, the dog will start. And naturally, what is the food and what is the habit and what is the celibate. Here, language learning is a kind of food. And with the language learning, there will be appreciating jobs, words. Someone speaks very loudly, I can say, oh, good job. Someone speaks very slowly, I can say, oh, good job. Someone is speaking over here in such a way with a minor attention. I say, oh, you are putting attention in such a way. That is the inspiration. Okay, so language learning is a bit of a here, and the teacher's something appreciation is a kind of light. With the light, there will be the learner will be interested to grab the knowledge, and after 10 days, 20 days, and even after 1 month, without the inspiration, the language learning will be a habit of the students, and without the inspiration, they will start progressing the language because it will be the part of their behavior. So, language learning is a sort of stimulus. If we get stimulated, if we get inspired by something else, by teacher, by element, one day it will be a part of our behavior and we will be learning language. Okay, so that is, but that idea was challenged by the previous another theory that is called experiment. Yeah, and that experiment it is done, that is by Skinner. Skinner, and look here, there is a rat over here, and before the rat there is a paddle, yeah? There is a lever, and there is a light, and there is a signal light, red, and another one, bluish. Then there is a speaker, and there is a pallet dispenser tube, food cup, electric grill, and also shock generator. Okay, in such a way, the rat is put over here. If the rat press on this lever, what will do? This lever will create a jargon, and from this container, there is a food product come over here and come through this way and go over there, and the rat will eat that food. But there is a portion over here. Okay? There is a portion over here, and if the dog is cast over here, okay, it will get electric shock. Okay. So everything is set in such a way, and the rat is put over here. Okay, the rat is very much habituated, and it is started getting exercise here and there. Okay, here and there. Abruptly, they touch the lever. Okay. And when they touch the lever, the blue light is on, and when it accidentally touches the lever, it gets a food. Then he said, oh, then the dog, the rat understood that, yes, what does it mean? That means, first thing is it did accidentally. Second time, it understood that if I press this lever, I will get a food. Second time, he will try to go over here and try to press the lever. Why? Because there is a food item. It will understand that if it gets pressed over there, then it will be getting up. So, first time the rat did it accidentally, and next time it will be trying to press over there and trying to get food. But at the same time, it was happy. Every time he is jumping over there and pressing the lever and getting the food. But accidentally, next time he pressed the lower portion of the container, and he got electric shock. Then it understood that, yeah, it is not only the food item I will be getting, I will also be getting electric shock there. Okay. So, the dog has got two kinds of behavior over here. One behavior that it could get food by pressing a button, and another kind of pressing the button will give it an electric shock. So, two sort of behavior the rat will form. What is the form? That means pressing the bell will be getting food, and pressing the lower portion of the container it will be getting electric shock. So here the rat's behavior will be operated by two conditions. One condition is praise or some price, and another condition is some electric shock. In an English class, if anybody is inspired by the teachers, by the telomeres, or you can also get inspired by within. You can have self-satisfaction. That is, I am improving. Yeah, I am improving my language learning scenario. So if you get such kind of inspiration can get from teachers, from your fellow students, from your parents, or from within. So if it is so, then your behavior will be formed positively. That means your positive behavior will be operated by some praise, and at the same time, if I say, oh, what the hell you are doing? You do nothing. What's up? You study in master's class, you don't understand the meaning of what like that. So that is like electric shock. So in that case, that negative inspiration will be ineffective for the language learning scenario. So in first case, that was classical conditioning. That means the place something, if it is praised by in any way, the language learner will be inspired and the language learning will be done effectively. But in that case, develops Skinner case, that means inspiration can be two types. Positive inspiration will get positive result, and the negative inspiration will get negative result. And this positive and negative inspire will operate the behavior. And for this reason, this behavior is called operant conditioning. From operate, that will be operant conditioning, and the previous one, Pavlov's dog experiment, will be calling classical conditioning. And these are the classical operant conditioning, and before that we have got the classical conditioning. So classical conditioning, or otherwise known as the Pavlov's conditioning, is when an organism forms a simple association between two previously unrelated stimuli. So unrelated stimuli over here, and after getting that, then there is no relation between light and food. Is there any relation? But it became a part of the dog's behavior, and the dog got stimulated, and it has become a part of their behavior. So this is called classical conditioning. And another thing, that is the operant conditioning of language learning. So here, with these two kinds of language learning, we can say that audiolingualism, we have got that idea previously. After the direct method, audiolingualism can be called army method. Why? Drilling will be there. Okay. And in a Humayun Ahmed's নাটক একটা পাখি কথা বলতে শেখে। কেন কথা বলতে শেখে? এটা গবেষণায় প্রমাণিত কিনা জানি না, তবে একটা পাখি, টিয়া পাখি কথা বলতে, ময়না পাখি কথা বলতে শিখবে যদি তার কাছে একটা শব্দ 4000 বার বলা যায়। আজ রবিবার এবং সেখানে 4000 বার তার সামনে ময়না পাখিটার সাথে ওই কথা যদি বলা যায়, তাহলে কি সে কথা বলতে আব্দুল কাদের কি করলেন? আব্দুল কাদের সেটাকে রেকর্ড কিনে রেকর্ড করে পাখির সামনে চালাই দিয়েছে। পাখি বলতেই আছে, এখন 4000 পরে সেই পাখিটা বলতেছে। কেন বলবো? এই যে ড্রিল, and same thing happens in audiolingualism. Audiolingualism, how it happens? Audiolingualism is called an army method, isn't it? And at that time it was necessary to get quick action and quick result, and for this reason repetition will be there. One sort of sentences will be repeated 18 hours a day, 6 days in a week. So same sort of drilling and repetition will be there, and after the repetition of such kind of sentences, after 2 weeks, that repetition will be a part of their behavior. Okay, and just like the behavior of Pavlov's dog. And next time there is no repetition, but it has become a part of their behavior, and they started producing their language. So in that way, behaviorist language theory suggests that language learning is a sort of our behavior. if in any way, if second language learning or second language become a part of our behavior, we can understand the language and we can produce it next time as a part of our behavior. Okay, so that is the view. There was a few studies on SLA based on the actual language and learners produced, and few attempts to examine the process of SLA especially. Okay, so whenever these two factors were considered, actually the American psychologist J.P. Watson and then Skinner and Pavlov, all are their psychologists. So they say that language learning, according to behaviorist second language learning theory, language learning is a sort of habit. Another term they have put in their discussion, that is the errors. Through habit we can understand or learn language, and through errors we can also understand language. So this is the part of their behaviorist second language learning theory. Okay, so behaviorist, what is behavior? We have learned yet. So it has become a sort of activities that become a part of human action, and next time it will be expressed through the unconscious activity of the human being. Okay, so it has become their behavior. So the Skinner and they have said this, that it is a part of their behavior. So a habit was formed when a particular stimulus become regularly linked with a particular response, just like the powder, meat powder and the bulb. And there was various theories about how this association could take place, how it happens, and in such a way that proceeds on, that is language learning is a sort of our behavior. In L2 acquisition, children were said to master the mother language by imitating the utterance. The way audiolingualism worked, in the same way the children learn language as a part of their repetition, because parents repeatedly say a word to the child, and when the child will imitate the words getting from their parents, one day that repeat will be a part of their children's behavior, and next time they will be producing the language. So L1 acquisition, children do the same things that we do in audiolingualism. Okay? So that is about the relation. In this way, children were supposed to build up a knowledge of the pattern or the habits that constitute the language they were trying to learn. And SLA could proceed in the similar way. Now, this is the child, okay? The child has learned language in the behaviorist way. I have put the child away and I have put an adult in case of learning the second language acquisition. So observing the same behaviorist theory, if a child can learn a language through their behavior, also an adult can learn the language through the behavior according to the psychologist's theory of behaviorism. Okay, so in such a way, and imitation and reinforcement were the means by which a behavior gets pattern in our action. What is that? Means imitation and repetition, imitation and reinforcement. Reinforcement can also be compared with the stimulus, okay, or inspiration. In such a way, a language can be learned. In other words, in addition to offering a general picture of SLA, habit formation, it also can explain why the learner made errors. So we have started that the behavior psychologists, they say that any kinds of learning can be learned in two ways, with the help of our behavior and also with the help of our errors. Errors according to the behaviorist learning theory, old habit gets in the way of learning new habits. Okay, actually, if it becomes, so habit will have some positive effect and will have some negative effect. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. আমরা বলি না M, কেন বলি? আসলে M বলে কোনো লেটার উচ্চারণ নয়, A বলেও কোনো উচ্চারণ নয়। আসলে A লেটারটা হলো, এই লেটার যখন আমরা সাউন্ড করবো, যদি আমরা লেটার হিসেবে বর্ণ হিসেবে বলি, এটা প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন হবে এই। বাংলায় যদি বলি এ, অবশ্যই এই। আর যদি আমরা সাউন্ড বলি তাহলে আ হয়, কয়েকটা সাউন্ড হয়, কয়েকটা সাউন্ড। আবার সেরকম যদি আমরা বলি, আমরা অনেক উচ্চারণ করি এম এম, আসলে লেটারটার উচ্চারণ কি না? এখন এটা আমরা ছোট সময় শিখে এসেছি এম, এজন্য এই এম উচ্চারণ করতে করতে এটা আমাদের কি হয়ে গেছে, পার্ট অফ আওয়ার বিহেভিয়ার। এই জন্য বলা হয় যে অশুদ্ধভাবে কোনো কিছু শেখার চাইতে না শেখাই ভালো। কেন? দ্যাট বেসড অন দ্য behaviorist theory on SLA, because you have learned a thing in the incorrect way, and that incorrect way gets pattern in your behavior, and next time bash partly kore next time it has become a part of your behavior and you want to change your behavior but you can't. Okay, so that is the habit. So language learning becomes a part of your habit, but if it becomes in the incorrect way, that incorrect spelling might affect in your second language acquisition or any kind of acquisition. In this way, the error, that means the habit, that means the first language you have learned, this language can play a vital role in your second language learning. Second language learning, if they play some effect, that kind of effect can be called transfer and interference. Okay, so the notion of interference has a central place in behaviorism. What is interference? Interference is that the influence of one language, especially the language variety, the first language, on another in the speech of bilingual who use both languages. Okay? So suppose we use Bangla language and Hindi language a little bit, yeah, okay, but Bangla is our first language, and we have learned Bangla language in our way. And whenever you will be going to implement your Bangla language idea in case of speaking your Hindi language idea, certainly you will make some mistakes, and certainly you will get some help in any portion. So that means your Bangla language can affect your second language, that means Hindi speaking or writing. Okay, so this influence of first language towards the second language is called interference. Okay, and this interference can be positive and negative. So transfer is the influence resulting from similarities and difference between the target language and any other language that has been previously a part of their behavior. Okay, so what is language transfer? Language transfer is the influence that first language will create to second language based on similarity and difference, whatever may be. That is called language transfer. And interference is the negative transfer. If your first language becomes a hindrance in case of learning the second language, that is called interference. That means the negative transfer. Where does the negative transfer happen and where does the positive transfer happen? In case of the similar, suppose for example a French speaker may express the idea of being cold, meaning that is I have a cold, and L to English. As a result, the way the meaning is expressed in L1 French, j'ai froid, j'ai fright. So I am cold, it is English later, English words, and j'ai froid, so it is French. Is there any similarity? Pronunciation, no similarity. But if you go forward, we will see another portion, that is in German language. Last line, English, I am cold and I've been cold. So these two words, this is German words and this is English word. So this cold is quite similar to the pronunciation of cold. So here between German and English language there is a similarity. In this portion, the German language will get some, language speaker will get some help in case of pronouncing the word cold. Either the French language speaker will not get some help. So influence can be positive and negative. So the positive and negative influence can be called interference. Negative negative one is called interference, and the both one is called language transfer. So what is the part of errors then? So here that in behaviorist theory error, there were evidence of non-learning of the failure to overcome proactive inhibition. Inhibit, that means it becomes a part. If the error becomes a part of your language learning journey, then it will be non-learning. That means the learners will not get inspired, and next time the learner will stop trying to learn that language. Here you say that Brooks in 1960, for instance, he said that like sin, error is to be avoided and it influences our learning. Okay, that means in case of language learning, error should not be happening according to Brooks, and it should happen. If it happens, then this error will continue in the further period or in the life ahead. That means this errors will get. So as soon as there are two kinds of view. If a language learner commits an error, what will be done? Some say that means correct him as soon as possible. So if you do not correct him as soon as possible, that error will become a part of their behavior, just like the Brooks. But other views are that, okay, if you correct the language learner every time at the time of noticing the error, that means the fluency will be strong. But here, in case of behaviorist language theory, error should be corrected as early as possible. If it is not so, that error will be a part of the learner's behavior and it will be proceed to the further part or the period of the language learner. Okay, so however, an error were the result of the negative transfer of the first language habits, and it is difficult to see how they could become the habit simply by tolerating them. In such a way, language learning is a journey, okay, and that language learning can be done through the formation of our habit and also the formation of our error. So habit will be described in two different ways according to Pavlov's dog experiment. That means stimulus will be conditioned on the cause of stimulus, the language learning behavior will be formed, and next time that will be the part of their language learning. According to Skinner, they will say that operant conditioning, that means your language learning will be conditioned by some inspiration or by some negative inspiration, or negative, not inspiration, negative things. So these two things, negative things will not inspire the language learning, and positive things or inspiration will inspire the language learning. So that is the behaviorist theory of language. করতে পারে, অনেক সময় নেগেটিভ ইন্সপিরেশন কাজ করতে পারে, এবং উল্টোটাও হয় কি, ভয়ে হচ্ছে সে আর চেষ্টা করা ছেড়ে দেয়, যেটাকে বলা হয় ফসিলাইজেশন। ওকে, দ্য লার্নার্স উইল স্টপ